Alright, hey, welcome back to the HadesOmega solar powered garage. Alright, so the solar powered garage has been completed and up and running for a couple months, but there's a couple problem. There's one problem I'm having with it, and it has to do with the grounding, or the neutral bonding is what it's called. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I'm trying to do, and then we're gonna go and do it. Alright, so Okay, so one thing I've learned with this system is, so when it is in inverter mode, it has what's called a floating ground. Okay, so this is a outlet tester is what it is. Okay, it basically checks to see. Okay, so this is an outlet tester. So what it does is it checks and sees if your outlets are properly wired. Okay, is what I'm gonna say. All right, so it can detect a couple things. All you got to do is plug it into the outlet. All right, so if I plug it into the outlet here, so if you remember how this system works, all right, I've got the inverter outlet right here. Okay, this goes right here. So the inverter, the power going through this inverter to the AC output is outputted right here. Okay, but I've got the grid power, or shore power, the garage's grid power right here. Okay, so if I wanted to switch back onto the regular grid power, all I have to do is unplug this and plug it in there. Okay, but yeah, so right now the inverter is powering it. So if I plug this into the outlet here, I've got one orange light. Okay, I got one light in the center. All right, so if I pull this guy out, okay, so if I pull this guy out, though, if you only have an orange light in the center, that means you have an open ground. All right, so that's what's called a floating ground. And so I'm trying to get this thing set up so we can charge with an EVSE. And I've tried to charge with my generator and my electric motorcycle, and it wouldn't do it because there was a ground fault. The reason for that is because it has a floating ground, all right, or open ground. And to fix that, you have to bond the neutral to the ground, from what I heard. I never got to test it out, and I lost my electric motorcycle, but I'm getting an EV soon, so I'm trying to get this thing working. So what's got to happen? What has to happen is you have to bond the neutral to the ground. Okay, or you got to jump the neutral to the ground. So here's another example of. Okay. Also, this is a disclaimer. HadesOmega is not a qualified electrician. Not a qualified electrician. So if you blow your house up, and because HadesOmega, told you to do this, then it's not my fault. There you go. All right, but anyway, so I'm gonna go put my voltmeter here. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it. It's in AC right now. If I check the outlet here, I'm getting. Oop. Come on. All right, I'm getting about 40 volts. Yeah, I'm getting 40 volts. Now if I check the other leg, I'm getting 30 volts, so like 70 volts. All right, and now if I put these two together, between them, we got 120 volts, right? So 70 volts. So yeah, the way it's supposed to be is the neutral is not supposed to have any voltage on it when you check it. And then when you check the hot side, it should be 120 volts. All right, so one should be pretty close to zero, and the other one should be 120 volts, but it's not. All right, and that's what's called a floating ground. There's like power in both legs. All right, you don't want that. So to fix that, you've got to bond the neutral to the ground. All right, you got to connect these two together. All right, if you did that, it would fix this problem. All right, it would be properly grounded, is what I want to say. So here's the problem. Here's the main problem. All right, what's going on? So we've got that grounding problem. All right, the open ground problem. To fix that, we need to bond the neutral to the ground. So there is this screw that comes with this box. It's one of those green screws. If you put it in the on the neutral bar and you screw it all the way into the box, effectively what it does is it bonds the neutral to the ground, all right? And then it would fix that problem. Then it would work, it would be properly grounded, all right? But unfortunately, we can't just do that, all right? So this has an automatic transfer switch, all right? So when this switch, I've already tested it, all right? I tested it in a previous video. What happens is when this reaches certain voltage, it connects to the grid power, all right? Because it doesn't want to mess up this battery, right? So, or you got no more power, you don't want to, you don't want to continue to discharge it. So what it does is it connects the power from the grid directly to the loads, all right? Instead of getting power from here to the inverter to the loads, it just connects it straight through to that outlet right there I got. Okay, so that's what I got. So when it's in grid or shore power mode, and the inverter isn't powering the loads, the neutral is bonded to the ground. All right, that's what's going on. So at your main service panel, all right, the main panel where this is connected to, it's already been bonded. The neutral, the white wire is bonded to the green wire, all right, the ground. It's already, and you can only, and so per code you can only do that at one spot, and that's the main panel. And then so if you have a sub panel like this, you're not supposed to do that, all right, unless this is the main panel. So technically this is a main panel when it's an inverter, battery inverter mode, okay, like it is right now. The battery is powering the loads right now. But if it switches over to grid power when the voltage gets low, okay, when it gets to your set voltage, it connects the grid, it becomes a main panel, all right? No, it becomes a sub panel, all right, because this is connected to the sub panel. You're drawing power from the main panel, but it's a main panel when it's powered from the battery. So what HadesOmega is going to do is there's something called a dry contact switch, all right? There's a dry contact switch connection right here, right? That's where I got these wires connected to. So basically that's a switch. There's a relay inside the here, and if you look at setting 24, all right, here's the book. All right, let's take a quick look at it. If you look at setting 24, when the setting 24 is disabled and the battery voltage, it's in SBU mode, okay? That's the mode that we're in right now. Basically, that's solar battery utility, all right? First, it prioritizes solar, then the battery power, and then the utilities. Okay, so when it gets to utilities, what it does is it opens the circuit. Okay, so battery voltage is higher than the set value, it opens it. Okay, it's odd when this is disabled. All right, I think it's disabled right now. So when the battery voltage is set, so basically what happens is the NC and the C become open when it's powered by the battery. All right. No. It's not, but it is open. That's kind of weird. And then when the battery voltage is higher than the setting, it's closed. Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. That's right. What this means, all right, basically what battery voltage is higher than the setting and value program, that's when you're in grid power mode, okay? That's when you're drawing power from the grid. It opens this, all right? So, and then when you're drawing power from the battery, it closes this switch, all right? And you can do it the opposite too. There's different ways you can wire it. So there's 3 contactors, all right? One is a common, one is I think it's normally open and normally closed, okay? All right, so what we want to do is when this is in battery powered mode, all right, or inverter mode, we want to bond the neutral to the ground, okay? But only when the inverter is running. So that's what that setting is for, all right? So when it connects, when the battery voltage gets too low and it connects the power from the grid, to the panel, then you want it to disconnect that bond because it's already bonded at the main panel. All right, so to do that, I'm going to make a jumper switch, or I'm going to make a wire. We're going to make a wire going from that dry contact, and we're going to connect the ground to the neutral. All right, and that so what that'll do, and I'll show you. We'll do a practical experiment before I actually make it. All right, because I did this. I was up here with my dad yesterday, and we were like trying to figure it out. And then so we figured it out. That's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna show you my results here. Okay, like I said, I'm not a qualified electrician, so that's your disclaimer. Okay, so to show you what we need to do, we need to bond the neutral to the ground. All right, so we can properly ground it, so it doesn't have open ground. So I'm gonna show you that. Okay, so actually I've got a neutral bonding plug that I could do, but well, we'll just put this in. All right, we're gonna plug this into the outlet here. Okay, so I've got this jumper cable here right there. All right, and we're gonna bond the neutral to the ground. All right, so you're gonna see me connect it real quick. So I'm gonna connect it to the ground right here, and then I'm gonna connect it to the neutral. Okay. All right, I just did it. All right, and guess what? The other light lit up. Okay, so now it's properly grounded. So let's pull this out. Okay, so if you look at up here, when the center and the right side are connected, it is correct. The wiring is correct. Okay, so that's what we want. So that it's properly grounded. All right. So plug that back in. All right, so there you go, properly grounded. All right, if I disconnect it, all right, I know I'm trying to get everything all in one shot. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect it. Boom. Okay, you just saw the light disappear. Okay, so I'm gonna connect it again. All right, disconnected. Okay, I'm gonna connect it again. Pull this out, and then we're going to check the voltages again. Okay, so I check this voltage. It's 120 volts, right? 120 volts. If I check this one, it should be close to 0. Okay, it's 0 volts. So there you go. That's the way the outlet is supposed to work. Okay, there's supposed to be 0 volts in one leg and 120 on the other leg. If you had 120 on each leg, then you would have 240 volts. This isn't a 240 volt outlet. Okay, so basically I've got to do that. All right, so the problem is, so why can't we just bond it the way it is right now, HadesOmega? Why can't you just get a wire and just connect the two together? Well, or get that bolt, put that green bolt in. Well, the reason is when this goes into like I mentioned earlier, okay, when this goes into grid power mode, it connects it to the main panel. All right, it's connected to the main panel, and this has been done at the main panel. You can't have this done on two different panels. Okay, you cannot do this on a sub panel. That's a no-no. Okay, that's what I don't know what's going to happen, but you're not supposed to do it. All right, so that's where this relay comes in. All right, the dry contact relay. All right, and let me show you how this dry contact relay works. All right, so let me undo this. Okay, but yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay, so you saw that's what corrects the grounding problem. Now I'm not gonna lie, I've been running it this way for a while now. Okay, I've been running it this way for a while now, and it runs all my appliances fine in the garage. Okay, but I have a feeling that if I'm gonna do it with EVSE, if I'm gonna use my EVSE, it's not gonna work. Okay. And so I'm trying to get my system ready to charge like an electric car. Okay, so I'm gonna have one soon.